Today we want to talk about the Warburg Effect. Who was Otto Warburg? Otto Warburg was a German scientist in the 1930s who won the Nobel Prize for discovering that oxygen and cancer can't coexist, and in the process was able to understand cancer at a much deeper level than anyone prior to him had. He was the first to observe aerobic glycolysis. This is the primary means that the mitochondria in cancer cells make energy and is referred to as the Warburg Effect. Warburg Effect refers to a phenomenon that is observed predominantly in cancer cells. This phenomenon occurs when the cells ferment glucose to produce lactic acid during glycolysis in the presence of oxygen. It was Otto Warburg, in 1926, who postulated it as the fundamental cause of cancer. Until today, nothing has changed on this view. This dysfunctional, energy-producing process that leads to the production of 4-ATP is called glycolysis. During glycolysis, 1-glucose is broken down into 2 molecules of pyruvate along with a small amount of ATP. In a normal situation, your healthy mitochondria will break down the glucose into pyruvate and then acetyl-CoA, which subsequently goes into the Krebs cycle. At this point, the mitochondria burn the pyruvate molecules released from glycolysis to form much more ATP, up to 90% more. Nevertheless, in the absence of oxygen, the cells can complete only the first step, which is glycolysis, releasing only 2 molecules of ATP from each molecule of glucose. This is where, in addition to that inhibition of the PDK, you also have a depletion of oxygen. Otto Warburg observed how the process of oxidative phosphorylation is altered in cancer cells. He also described how cancer cells function differently, even in the presence of oxygen. He postulated that while healthy cells can entirely burn the molecules of sugar, cancer cells do so only partially. They tend to overindulge in the step of glycolysis during respiration without completing the second step of oxidative phosphorylation. What is the takeaway from this? When only 2 molecules of ATP are released from each glucose molecule, we have a reduced amount of energy, which is not adequate for cancer cells to survive. Without these massive amounts of glucose, cancer cells can't receive the energy needed for their survival. This is one of the reasons that avoidance of sugars in the diet and even a strict ketogenic diet can be helpful. By starving cancer cells of glucose, you can give your cells and body the advantage, because cancerous cells rely heavily on sugars and thrive in high sugar environments. I'm sure Dr. Otto Warburg would have been a huge fan of melatonin supplementation, especially when considering the interplay between how the mitochondria become dysfunctional and how super antioxidants like melatonin can quench some of the negative effects of this condition. Several research studies have revealed that melatonin can reverse the Warburg effect. Thanks for watching.